Thrilled. Actually last year I came to a couple of Greensboro Swarm games, and I remember sitting there thinking, like, this crowd, this intensity, this atmosphere is insane. And so it's nice that obviously playing in a different venue, but still in Greensboro. I just think the passion here, the fans, the love of the game, the love for the Hornets is like real. And so it's nice that we get to extend our footprint today and play a game in Greensboro. And hopefully we can give the fans between us and Memphis a good game, something fun to watch.
Your defensive rebounding numbers these first three games have been really strong. I'm sure it's an area you're pretty pleased with. What do you attribute to the success in that area thus far?
I attribute it to the players' mindset. I think that they have really bought into our defensive absolutes in terms of trying to finish possessions. I think that it starts a little bit with like Miles Bridges. I think that he has been like a relentless offensive rebounder while also doing a really good job on the defensive boards of bringing a physicality there too. I think Ryan and Musa have done a great job of trying to keep the other bigs off the glass, and our guard rebounding and coming in and chip blocking and getting pieces and Melo getting involved. I thought last game in Dallas and coming in and rebounding. So it's been a team effort, but there are definitely a couple of our starters that I think kind of set a tone and lead by example.
You mentioned Miles. What have you seen from him so far this preseason? How key is he to that success this year?
I've loved Miles' like intentionality. Defensively, first of all, like his just being locked in, I think, on tendencies a lot more this year. The multiple effort mindset that it takes to guard guys. He's last game there's a couple shifts where I think that he's showing a shift and he's being active, and then he's getting back out to a contest and guarding a guy and keeping him in front, or coming over and trying to contest and help a teammate. And then Colin Sexton got his back on a corner contest, I think to Anthony Davis or something. So I just see like a multiple effort mindset from him, wanting to help his teammates while also just being really good on the ball and bringing a physicality defensively too. And then I think offensively, his willingness to play with the pass, to run without the ball. We've made an emphasis with him of trying, teams that are going to switch, or as you're running the floor, can we punish some of these mismatches that you get early in the possession? I think he's really embraced that and taken ownership of it, and he's doing a really good job of just playmaking, whether it's for himself or for his teammates.
Then you also mentioned Bryant, too, helping out with the boards and the defense. What have you seen again from him so far preseason? You mentioned a little bit about him, about he's, I guess, the right spot, the right time, just making the right plays for a big man. Has he surprised you, what he's done so far in terms of his development?
Yeah, not very surprised. I would say that I think our front office did a phenomenal job of just identifying a competitive player in Ryan, a student of the game in Ryan, and you're just seeing all of his hard work starting to pay off. I think we've got to see it since Summer League as soon as we drafted him, and he picks things up really fast, but he picks things up really fast because he cares so much. His individual workouts on the court, he is like locked in, and he's a sponge, and he's absorbing all types of information. He asks the right questions to make sure that he is in the right positions and being active at the right times. And it's film study. Credit to him and the coaches that all work with him. I think that the film has really helped him, and just more reps that he gets out on the court, you can just start to see his confidence rise and rise. And so I've been really impressed with him on both sides of the floor. I would also give props to, I think, our locker room. I think that we have a great group of guys that are, trying to rally around one another, and they're talking to Ryan, and they're trying to explain to him angles of pick and roll screening, and Mason's talking to him about something that he can impart, and Moose did the same thing, and then some of our guards talking to him, and so the relationships in the locker room are also helping him grow as well.
How is Brandon holding up physically after being out of the game for so long and getting to play a couple games? And is there anything specifically you've seen from him this preseason that is encouraging in terms of long-term development for him?
Brandon's, holding up, I would say, really well. I think that his off-season training habits were really consistent, really intense. I think that he is starting to play better and better every game that he gets, trying to shake off a little bit of that rust from not playing for a while. But I just see him kind of like working himself back into shape, finding his rhythm and his groove. Last game, there was a couple drives that I thought just that explosive burst was there. In that first OKC game, we talked a ton with him in the offseason about playing with more force and power. And there's a couple drives where he's got to use his shoulder, and he ends up getting fouled as he drives the ball. And so that there's been so many moments, I think, throughout the preseason games, throughout training camp, where he's seeing the hard work that he put in on his body and trying to gain some more strength, and it's paying dividends on the court. So I've seen a lot of really good from him. Defensively, he's one of our best guys, I think, when it comes to trying to show a crowd and being a pterodactyl and having those arms out there and making the paint look crowded. And then, again, that multiple effort mindset of being in a shift and then closing out and keeping a guy in front. He did it really well last game. So I continue to be impressed with Brandon game after game.
In the second game, Musa played 26 minutes. The other night, he was the third center off the bench. He played 12 minutes. What are you looking for from him tonight, and how has his development looked so far in preseason?
Yeah, I would say, all three of our bigs, they bring us something different. I've been really excited, or really happy, I should say, with what each one has given us. I spoke to all three of them, and they need to be ready to, maybe start, maybe come off the bench, maybe be the third big in a game. And so be open-minded, be flexible. I think that whatever makes sense for where our team is, that is who's going to kind of give us a punch that night. And I think Musa has really taken to that, and he's accepted the challenge, and he's open-minded, and whenever his number is called or his name is called to kind of just go in a game, he produces, and he does it with his energy. And defensively, I feel like I've even seen, on top of the ability to guard on the ball, he's now getting even better in an off-ball situation where he's got to come over and maybe disrupt a shot. Or being in multiple coverages. Last year, we switched with him a ton because that was his comfort zone, and he's been challenged now to play in center field, and he's done it. And so really happy with his growth and development on the defensive side of the ball. Been really happy with his maturity and open-mindedness to play whatever role the team needs to be able to impact games. And then offensively, I think that we're all seeing somebody still evolving. I think that he's more than an offensive rebounder. He's been a great connector. He's been a great screen setter. He's made a couple plays, I think, in the seam or in the pockets of just feeling help and making that extra pass. And so been really happy with what he's been giving us.
When you watch the film, I guess, the preseason games so far, what has bothered you, thinking that you want to improve upon before you get to the regular season next week?
Yeah, nothing bothers me, Rod.
Not even me.
Not even you, my man. The thing that I want us to just continue to work on, I think defensively, guarding the ball, keeping the ball in front, doing it together as a team, our shift activity just being really consistent. And then the last piece with our defense is within our different coverages, just executing it a little bit better. If it's center field, how are we closing the gap and defending without fouling as we're getting through screens and refusing to be screens. And I think sometimes in our reds, doing it with a little bit more physicality, not letting people easily slip out of screens and create indecision for us. And offensively, I've loved the changes that we've made. I think the guys have done a great job of picking it up. And there's another layer or another level of unselfishness that's gone into what we've implemented, and they're totally bought in and committed to it. So I've loved that, but I just want to continue to see it grow and build on top of a lot of the positive strides we've made.